Well, Jeff Moon is a former assistant US trade representative for China, and he joins me now. Thank you very much for coming on the programme. Now, the two sides expected to discuss, as Catherine was saying just then, extending that rare earth minerals truce. How much leverage do you think China still holds over the US when it comes to rare earths and critical minerals?
The U.S. and China arrived at a truce last fall after realizing that neither side can gain a conclusive advantage over the other, but both can inflict considerable pain. China gained leverage by exploiting its rare earth monopoly, and that leverage remains intact. So the question is how China wants to use that leverage, and I think most people agree that the best way is to preserve the current truce for the benefit of China, for the U.S., and the global economy.
We're hearing, aren't we, that Boeing aircraft, US agriculture and energy purchases could be part of the talks. Are these likely to be meaningful deals, do you think, or is this more about political deliverables?
These purchases are important in the broad sense because they help reduce the enormous trade surplus that China runs with the United States, which has become a political issue that complicates bilateral relations. American companies and consumers will welcome these purchases, but transactions of this nature have been a part of U.S.-China summits for decades and are thus not necessarily unique to this summit. The question that lingers in the background for Americans is whether China will actually make good on those purchase pledges, because recent history teaches us that such promises sometimes don't yield results.
Jeff, I just want to talk to you about tariffs for a moment. So have tariffs, do you think, strengthened America's negotiating position, or have they hurt US businesses?
Tariffs produce mixed results. President Trump's tariff policies have resulted in significant concessions from some trading partners in the form of reduced tariffs and investment pledges, but tariffs increase costs and throw artificial complications into commercial relationships. My overall view is that I prefer free trade and don't favor either tariffs or non-tariff barriers. But U.S.-China trade relations have always suffered from tariffs and non-tariff barriers, and that situation is likely to continue into the indefinite future.
Now, Trump's got quite an entourage coming with him, we're hearing. Executives from companies such as Boeing, Citigroup, Qualcomm, they're all expected to travel with him. What does corporate America want most from this visit?
Corporate executives want geopolitical stability and a level playing field in China. They know how to design and produce superior products and how to compete in foreign markets, but they can't control geopolitical tensions between countries and in world markets, and they can't control the many non-tariff barriers to doing business that they encounter in China. Governments can help address those problems, so that's why it's important for corporate executives to participate in summit events to make sure that their views are heard and factored into policy outcomes.
And of course, Iran expected to be a major topic of conversation, given China's economic ties with Tehran and its role as a major buyer of Iranian oil. Could trade concessions, do you think, be linked to China's cooperation on Iran?
I really doubt it. China has influence with Iran because it is providing Iran with oil revenues and weapons-related materials. The best thing China can do to promote peace in the Middle East is to stop buying Iranian oil and to cease assisting its military. But I think that's unlikely to happen. Whatever influence China has, however, is not sufficient to compel Iran to ignore its deeply held religious beliefs or its unique historical grievances with the United States. So I think that we can expect that President Trump will probably ask the Chinese for some kind of assistance to weigh in favor of peace, but I doubt that he's going to expend any political capital to get that kind of limited assistance.
Jeff Moon, thank you very much indeed for that.